I know we live in a time where men and women literally hate each other, but nobody talks about how good it feels as a woman to have a man that literally takes the weight of the world off of your shoulders. I saw a post that said, I will call my man before I call 911. And when I tell y'all, I literally feel like that. Like, I don't care what the problem is. My man is going to solve it. And if he can't solve it, he going to figure out a way to solve it. The other day, we was talking about moving and stuff like that. And I was just thinking about, like, when I first moved to my first apartment by myself, when I moved, I had to find movers. I had to pay deposits. I had to get this, that, XYZ together. But when you have a man, you literally, that stuff is non-existent. All I got to do is probably help find the place and pack up. That's it. Everything else is on him. Even when we go on vacation, the rental cars, that's shit, paying for stuff, that is not my problem. Y'all know how good it feels when your car is acting up or your tire is flat. You made one phone call and the problem is out of your hands. Like, that, as a woman, that just feels so good. That's why I always laugh people when they say you either masculine or you feminine. A man can't bring femininity out of you. But it's like, literally, how am I gonna be soft in this world when I gotta do everything on my own? When I say man, I want you to know I'm talking about a man, not a person with a penis. Because it's people with penises out here. All they good for is laying down a little whoop-de-doop and that's it, like cuddling. No, I mean a man, somebody that handles business. So yeah, y'all, I don't care what everybody say, baby, I need my man because he gets it done.
Hey, that's it right there. And look, what she's exhibiting is the consistency, the value, the abundant power of what a man brings to not just a woman's life, but to the world. You understand? As men, we have the logical mind. We have the logical brain. We solve problems. That's what we do. We're problem solvers. That's how it works. This is what the masculine identity membership is all about. It's about getting you to recognize your value, to recognize your abundant value, your power, what you bring to the world, the value that you bring to the world. Because what this woman is talking about is how a man should feel about himself to begin with. And if you don't feel like this about yourself, then that's the issue. That's why you lack confidence. That's why you can't attract the things in your life that you want to attract. That's why you let people manipulate and influence you instead of you influencing the world around you, because you're not aware of your power. You're not aware of your value. Now, sometimes when we're developing our masculine identity, a part of the enhancement of who we are as men requires us to define our purpose. A part of the development of your masculine identity requires you to figure out why you're here, because that is a part of who you are as a man. So what gifts do you have? What problems can you solve? How can you make the world a better place than how you found it? As men, that is your number one purpose, to leave this world better than you found it. But each man is going to do that in his own way. What kind of value are you going to bring? What kind of problems are you going to solve? And understand the value that you bring and the problems that you solve for the women in your life. That is a microcosm of everything that your masculine identity provides as far as value for the entire world. This is why, as men, we must understand the power of our love, the power of our passion, the power of our masculine identity, and how we affect everyone around us, not just the women that we're romantically interested in. It's very important that we understand that our power, our infinite abundance in the value that we bring as men goes far beyond what we do for the women in our lives. Although, shout out to the women in our lives, because a woman in your life provides a baseline for you to always be responsible and accountable for the continuous enhancement of your masculine identity. So what do I mean? What I'm saying is that when you're dealing with a woman is always going to need something. A woman is always going to get into some type of trouble. Something's always going to be wrong with her car. She's always going to need money. She's always going to need some type of assistance. She's always going to need some type of guidance. She's always going to need some type of leadership. She's going to need someone that she can trust, that she can lean on, because as much as they love to act like they're strong and independent, when it comes down to it, a woman's job is to remind a man of who he is. And how she does that is by being a woman, is by being the weaker sex, is by being put in positions where a man has to help, because that is what's going to keep him constantly working towards the highest version of himself. And as a man, that's where you should be. That is your comfort zone. Your comfort zone is always working on how to take on more responsibility, to go outside of your comfort zone, to learn how to make the discomfort outside of your first comfort zone, to make that become your new comfort zone. I know that sounded kind of crazy, but follow me. As men, we have the life that we live, and we have a certain comfort zone. The whole point of being a man is to get uncomfortable and make that new uncomfortable zone our new comfort zone. That's why we practice. Think about a bodybuilder, right? The first time you get into the gym, you probably only curl in 20s. But in a month or so, you want to be curling 25s. You want to be curling 30s, right? When you first get in the gym, you probably bench pressing 135, right? That's just one plate. Well, you want to add a 25 to that. You want to get to 185. And then you want to get to the point where you are benching 2 plates on each side, right? That's 225. And then maybe you want to start working towards 315. So the point I'm trying to make is that when you first got into the gym, 135 wasn't comfortable, right? Because when you bench 135, you went home feeling sore, but you kept at it. And then 135 became comfortable, right? And then you continue to go up in weight. Then 185 was uncomfortable. And then now it became comfortable. Okay. And then 225 was uncomfortable. But now as you kept working on it, now that's your comfort zone. So the whole point is to continue to enhance yourself by extending your comfort zone. And when you have a woman in your life, she's going to give you the baseline. She's going to always challenge your comfort zone. And please don't mistake what I'm saying. It's not about shit test or challenging you as a threat to your manhood or anything like that. What I'm saying is that because a woman is the weaker sex, and because a woman always needs to depend on a man and depend on the leadership of a man, she will always be there to make sure that you are consistently who you say you are. And what's that? That's your masculine identity. And that's the beauty of a woman. That's the beauty of having a woman in your life. To always have someone that is going to challenge you to make sure that you continue to up your level, that you continue to enhance. Now, keep in mind, you're not doing it for her. You're doing it for yourself. But she is the checks and balances from God, the universe, and nature to remind you that you're that dude. Right? She's, oh, honey, I got a flat. Oh, honey, something's wrong with the car. Oh, honey, the lawn. Oh, honey, something needs to be fixed in the house. Oh, honey, I need this. Oh, honey, I need that. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm so emotional right now. All of those little challenges that comes with having a woman, all of those little responsibilities that comes with having a woman, those are basically the building blocks of a strong masculine identity. And from there, you understand that is just a microcosm of the extended, abundant value that you bring to the entire world. So it's either you getting challenged by the world, or even when the world is chilling and everything is cool in the world, you're going to get challenges from your woman. Sometimes you're going to get challenges from the world and your woman. But guess what? All of that goes back to making you the highest version of yourself, thereby enhancing your masculine identity. So when we look at the responsibilities that come with a woman, right, we should not look at them as something negative. We should look at them as something positive that only enhances our masculine identity. And this is exactly why we should only deal with women that deserve the benefit of the value of our masculine identity. Because all this responsibility and all these things that we do and all this value that we bring, we should only do it for those that deserve it, especially when we're dealing with them romantically in such a close proximity. You understand? But at the same time, we must understand that all that we do is for us and for the enhancement of our masculine identity. And I talk about this in the documentary Game Kings 2, The Definition of a Man, where I talk about how a man is like the sun. We rise and we serve. We rise and we provide value. The sun rises every day and it gives light. It gives heat. It gives photosynthesis. It gives UV rays. It gives all these different things. All these different things that it provides. And it doesn't even require you to thank it. And it doesn't ask you for permission either. That's what we do as men. That's exactly what we do as men. OK. And so we must understand that all these different responsibilities, including the responsibilities of a female, it comes with a certain privilege. It comes with the prestige of being in a certain position. And that's all that she's talking about in this video. She's talking about how a man brings so much value to her life that she takes the weight of the world off her shoulders, as a man should. As a man should. As men, we just also have to remember that it's only a certain type of woman that deserves this type of protection. It's only a certain type of woman that deserves to be in close proximity to us, where she has a position in our lives, because we provide value for people that we don't even know. So it's not really about our ability to provide value. It's about the proximity and the woman earning the value that we bring as we enhance our masculine identity. That's what it's really all about. Because like I said, the value that we bring as men is abundant. It's abundant as the sun. But at the same time, if someone is in close proximity to us, especially romantically, we cannot be wasteful with our value. So therefore, we have to continue to provide value to the entire world. OK, so it doesn't stop at loving the woman. As a matter of fact, that's a drop in a bucket, or you could look at it as that's probably the very beginning, right? The tip of the iceberg. But the value that we bring to the world extends far beyond that. But if she wants to be that close, if she wants to have a position in our lives, then she has to be deserving of it. And so knowing our value and articulating and expressing and living in our masculine identity, right? Meaning that our actions, behaviors, thoughts, and words are congruent with our masculine identity, then we're able to attract a compatible female. And as she learns our program and she learns our masculine identity, she will show herself to deserve to be in close proximity to us. So she benefits directly by default from our intrinsic value within our masculine identity. OK, and that's what this woman is talking about in the video. So, guys, understand that our value is abundant. Our value is very powerful. It is our job to use our masculine identity to make the world better than how we found it. All right. So it's your boy, Miles Cunningham. Hope you got something from this video. Hope you're having a great day. Be good to yourself. Be grateful. And remember, the truth is inside you. Peace.